My name is Annabelle Lopez Ochoa, and I'm the choreographer of Gentleman Jack.
And I'm Federico Bonelli, Artistic Director of Northern Ballet. And together, we are the winners of the FEDORA CLEEF ARPELS Dance Prize 2025. So Annabelle, when a couple of years ago, we had a meeting, we came together and we started to talk about Unlisted and Gentleman Jack and making a ballet. I remember then you were immediately really convinced,
Yes.
taken by this character and by the story. What is it that struck a chord with you?
Well, I love telling stories first, but I also love telling stories about historical women, and she's a very strong woman, and I feel really relating to her because of the fact that she was an entrepreneur. She was an avid reader, she loved studying, she was very curious, she was traveling a lot, she was a landowner, and also she was a queer woman. And we know that because she wrote an extensive diary of 5 million words, and some of the diaries were written in codes. And in 1980, those codes were cracked, and we finally found out that she lived as a lesbian. And so now she's really an icon and known as the first modern lesbian that we know here in Yorkshire, and she is from this area.
And of course the fact that she is known as the first modern lesbian, I think has an impact in the ballet world. I think it's probably the first time that such a story is put on stage.
Yeah, that makes it exciting for me because I love putting strong women on stage, but in the ballet repertoire, we never have the main character being a lesbian. And so for me, it was nice to present a different narrative to the audiences and also to show that there's many ways of being a woman. Like yesterday at the premiere, some women came to me and said, we are getting married. And it was so nice to see our story told on stage, and they had tears in their eyes. So that's very moving when that happens. I think first, to go back to how we developed the main character, it was hard, it was a process and challenging to get the main character, the dancer Gemma Coates, to walk with assertiveness and directionality and to walk on her heels. And I think to gain trust from another woman that she's going to be there to support you, to manipulate you, that was also a process. But I think we managed it.
And you were talking about the diaries, and we know about Unlisted through her diaries, so that is very much, the base, and of course it's been distilled into a ballet. How did you bring those words, those pages, those diaries to the stage?
So for me, the writing was very important. To make that portrait, I had to have her write. But it's such a small gesture, and it's very intimate. It's very, her inner world is put onto paper. How are we going to make that visible to the audience? So I thought the first time she writes, I am actually going to show the audience that she does the movement, and then slowly some dancers are going to come in and dressed as words, as her codes. And it was very important to me that because she wrote so many diaries and so many words, that the first scene would have just 8 dancers representing the words, and then it would become 12 and then 16 at the end of the ballet. It would be an ocean of words.
There is also a technical innovation, a way that you put it on stage, right, where she's walking everywhere.
Yes, she writes a lot about her going places. I mean, she climbed mountains, she visited a lot of countries in Europe, and also in Yorkshire to Halifax, she was walking places. And so I thought from the beginning, when I started writing the script, we need a treadmill. We need to see that this woman walked. And with the designer Christopher Ashe, we invented some bookcases that are used in 2 ways. On one side, it's books in a very gray sort of colors, and on the other side, there are screens where it is projected where she's going to. Part of the portrait of Gentleman Jack is her relationships to women, and I made a conscious decision to only have 2 women, which makes a triangle, and triangle always works well for theater. If there are too many characters, at some point the audience will think, why, who is that? I think that the dancers were really excited. I think you prepared them really well because you had made a workshop the year before about same-gender partnering. They were going for it. They really wanted to tell the story. You could feel that they were proud and feeling their duty to bring that story to the audience as honestly as possible. And we had the help of Claire Croft, our dramaturg, who is a butch lesbian and really guided me in how that character needed to behave, to stand, to sit, and that how the lipstick lesbians in the piece would be different. So once again, there are many ways of being a woman.
So Annabelle was saying that this project, we started working with the dancers on different kinds of pas de deux in a choreographic workshop with the vision of then making the ballet. But equally important, possibly even more important, is the work that we do through the Academy of Northern Ballet, through the work that we do with schools in Leeds and in Yorkshire. I'm really proud of this program, inspired by what Anne Lister was and represents, and is encouraging young people to be who they really are.
I've made quite a few pieces with Peter Salem. He's the composer of Gentleman Jack. And I met him in 2012 when I was doing Streetcar Named Desire. And he comes from the theater and from movies. So he's very aware of the theatrical necessity of music. Yeah, he's so good at making a melody and developing that melody from Gentleman Jack, from the beginning when the curtain opens to the very end.
And of course, Louise Flanagan designed the costumes. And this is a period piece, right?
Yes.
1800.
She's an amazing designer, also not just in terms of taste, but the thought process behind that. I expressed immediately that I think that the time of the 1800s for women was a hideous fashion, and it was covering the body so much that it really didn't serve the dance and the dancers. I really love the costumes. It is a period ballet, but it's definitely modern and now, and hopefully therefore also timeless.
Obviously the costumes and the sets were made by Northern Ballet, by the teams at Northern Ballet.
And also the fabric that we chose for the men's suits are from here. So they're all, the fabrics from Yorkshire, so it feels very authentic.
This project has been 3 years in the making, so it has taken a long time. There are so many people that have really been generous in their support, their time, their encouragement, and it's made a massive difference. FEDORA being one of those. I think this is an incredible organization that empower innovation and risk-taking. There is, of course, a financial support that the FEDORA Prize gives, and that is really important. Equally important was the fact to have the encouragement from a group of our peers. So everybody in the jury, the community here in Halifax, the unlisted community, we've had some incredible support.
So I think that new stories and new kind of roles for women and gentlemen will appear. I'm hoping that the ballet world would venture more in risky new stories. I think the audience is really ready for it. Being recognized by this FEDORA prize is really showing our peers and the dance world that we should give choreographers a chance to bring stories that are not known yet. So I'm going to be that choreographer. I want to make new productions and bring new stories.
I would say that it is bold and it is innovative and that it is risk-taking.
Supportive, courageous, innovative.